What up, fam? Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, we're just chilling today. Possibly just gonna talk about some random topics or whatever that is currently just going on. Supposedly, some of the things are going on in the bullshit poly trickster world. And I don't know, but something about quote unquote food stamps or something like that. Of course, I want you to know I spent no time actually like looking into like if these bills are like being passed or not. But I don't know. There was like a video of a whole bunch of people crying over how one, I guess they were gonna cut food stamps or some shit, and two, like you could only buy like certain things with them now or whatever. Like you were no longer, I don't know, something about you may no longer be able to like buy soda and a whole bunch of junk food and shit. Again, the junk food isn't really food anyway, but there was like one particular woman on the video who was crying about supposedly all she ever feeds her children are sugar and junk food. Supposedly that's all they eat and drink. And, apparently she has 6 kids and she was crying about how she was going to be able to take care of her 6 kids. And I'm just like, I'm not sure what happened to people's like motherly and fatherly instincts or whatever. But whether you have food stamps or not, I'm certain you'll be able to like feed your children. And again, as I mentioned in the last video, nobody on this planet should be starving, especially because, there are food banks and stuff. I don't know if people know this. And also, I really don't care where you live at. Like, even if they're not, in your neighborhood, believe me, you have some type of food bank somewhere where you live at, or if it's in the next town or a couple towns over, whatever. They literally exist, so you should be able to find one. And so, again, to these people, if they weren't being emotionally signaled and like psyoped mentally, then they would just figure out how to protect. I'm sorry, protect not well, protect too, but feed their children. Like, period. So I just it's just like to all the people who keep crying about it. Also, my thing was, fine, if you're going to cut these food stamps or whatever it is, my particular thing is, could you stop taking the money out of my paycheck every week? That would be beautiful to funnel into these to funnel into these programs if they're not going to be like going to where they're like designated to go to. So, that was one of the things that we wanted to talk about because, again, it's just like, I'm really not sure what's going on with people's common sense and intelligence these days, but it just like some of the things that, we have temporarily been unfortunately observing or whatever. It's just like everybody seems to just be so emotionally and psychologically immature. So I'm not gonna say like people are damaged because I don't believe in that. I think that you're thinking to be stupid or whatever. So, just a few of like the recent people who have like come into my life. One, I'm not really a person who like likes to argue, especially about dumb shit that doesn't really matter. And for a few of these people, they're quote unquote just trying to figure out some of their housing, issues or whatever right now. And of course, they're all solvable or whatever. But it's just like to these people who are supposedly trying to figure out their housing, solutions and whatnot, it's like they don't have time to go figure out their housing issues or their, find a job or whatever. But each and every one of them have time to go get high. And so I'm just like, again, I understand, having quote unquote addictions, but they shouldn't be taking priority in your life, especially if you don't have like a place of your own right now to live in or whatever. Like, drugs and sex to me personally should be some of the last things on your mind. Like I know for a fact, me going to get high right now isn't going to solve any of the temporary uh, problems that I'm currently, challenged with or whatever. So, one is just mainly, this young guy or whatever, uh, it's just like, he doesn't even really seem to be able to understand the words that I'm saying to him. Like, And I don't mean that in some crazy disrespectful way, because I do understand we're all on the spectrum and whatnot. So, that's fine and that's okay. But it's just like, first of all, he texted me today, and, I'm just like, obviously I'm responding, and then like some of my responses, he's taking them the wrong way, like thinking that he knows me and he knows what the fuck I'm saying through a text message. When, first of all of my text messages are very, very clear. I'm not making demands on people. I don't actually give a shit. Especially because, one, I'm not really into guys, and it's just like, with these guys that keep coming around, I get less and less into them every single time. I mean, it's just like, I don't know, say what you mean and mean what you say, or stop fucking talking to me personally. Because I meant every word that I say. Like, when I said that I just wanted to, keep it platonic or whatever, I literally had meant that. So, it's just, it's crazy work to me. Because, one, obviously, he was, I don't know, but obviously his housing, stuff came up or whatever. And, it just, the level of conversations that I'm having with some of these beings, like even through text messages, I just look at the text message like, what? Like, what? Again, and I do understand it's important to quote unquote have your name on a supposed lease or whatever, but these are the things that supposedly make men men, from this being's perspective. And obviously, since Whitney knows what a real man is, one who would prioritize their children today and figure out how to get housing and or feed them by any fucking means necessary, instead of, no, fuck all of that. My main issue for today is I need to go smoke weed, because that's going to put me and my children in a house or a apartment or whatever, somehow, some way. So, again, for the most part, I just stopped responding. And if I see this person in person, I will just be letting them know, it's no hard feelings for me personally, but please don't talk to me anymore. I don't have time for these type of conversations. And excuse me, I just, it's just like, everything is not about, quote unquote sex to me. And also, most of y'all are having sex incorrectly. So, I had mentioned earlier to myself, it's just like, bro, if the people you're having sex with keep leading you further into your addiction fucking problems, you're having sex with the wrong people. If the people you're having sex with, just whatever the fuck it is, if they're not building you up, if you're not trying to build things together, if all it's just strictly sexual, and by the way, that is okay, but if it's just strictly sexual and nothing else, then people need to learn how to keep all these shit in context and in these categories or whatever. But I personally, especially with anything that has a penis, I don't just sleep around because of all types of things or whatever. Like, I just don't have time for that, especially that too. I mean, I don't give a fuck about your skin tone. Your level of intelligence is incredibly important to me personally. With that part, like, all of my babies are intelligent and brilliant and all of this other stuff. Like, and not only that, but, just like me, they'll quote unquote have ESP or whatever. So it's just like, you need to be in like a very specific vibration for me to even remotely be interested in, especially if you have a penis. Like, the chances of me being interested in you if you have a penis, they're already slim to absolutely zero. So you have to be like one of the most incredible man, like the most incredible men on earth. You literally would have to, you have to be in that category. And that too, and just so I'm clear, I don't give a shit about how much money is in your bank account. You can be stupid rich. Lots of people are. Again, though, shout out to those people. Get it how you live. That as well, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people, quote unquote, being poor is an issue for me, because you know what I'm saying. It becomes an issue. So it's just like, again, like, thinking is free, and um, I don't know, but it's like, it's crazy, because I have even mentioned to this person in person, like this, like talking to them face to face or whatever. I literally mentioned I don't let other people control my emotions, because that's stupid. And, it just is what it is for me personally. So yes, I'm sorry. I'm trying to remember some of the other topics that I wanted to go over. You know, the vampirism thing, with these entities and whatnot. It's still totally some shit or whatever. And again, it's just the bullshit lie that is going on or whatever. That, again, though, if anybody does know anything about like energetic trespassing or some shit, please let me know. Again, though, it seems that these entities that, again, they are going to get the hell out of my life. It really does seem as though they are man-made entities, because like any entity that's like from nature, whether it be on the dark side or the light side, they have to listen to me when I tell them to get the hell out of my house. It's not optional. And by the way, you know what, sometimes it doesn't even matter if I'm saying the quote unquote name of Jesus or not. No, they have to get the hell out of my house if I say you're energetically trespassing and I don't want you here. Like, this is for me personally. It's just like this space. It should be too high vibrational for these entities to even be here. However, again, I'm telling you, somebody, whoever, especially in these laboratories with these quote unquote shot thingies or whatever the fuck. I mean, they have opened up portals to fucking things that don't belong here. So that's why I'm telling you, these ones, they're definitely man-made. And or the idiots making all of these ridiculous ass vaccines in these fucking labs for all of these years or whatever. They are absolutely helping to create entities or whatever the fuck, because because those chemicals go into your bloodstream. And again, as I mentioned, your bloodstream is a part of your consciousness. It's literally what gives you life or whatever. So introducing, chemicals, especially like DNA from another whole fucking human being that you don't know, and animals and shit. And again, lots of doctors have looked into, especially those what ones that were just recent, and all of the things that they found inside of them. And and supposedly, I don't know, there's like a website that's strictly for like diplomats or something. Really, I guess that's one of the websites they communicate through, or whatever. But it's something about how Epstein or whatever the fuck wanted his DNA to be inside of every fucking, like, he just wanted his DNA to be spread all over the fucking world or some nonsense like that. And I'm like, my first question was, well, again, they have been artificially inseminating the whole fucking planet, or really America with the 3Ks. But it's just like, if the man is already born and stuff, I'm not sure how you're really going to get your semen inside of him. But do whatever. And also, I don't know, again, it didn't really go into details about, this DNA. But like the whole nanotech thing or whatever the fuck, supposedly Epstein was like, in cahoots with some tech guy or whatever the fuck, and they literally wanted to use like nanotech and like, I don't know, DNA and or like quote unquote shot thingies to like blackmail anybody that they chose or something like that. Again, I don't know the website and all this stuff. You can look it up if you want to. Don't if you don't. Again, I would appreciate it if, we were just thinking intelligently, especially that these entities and these beings and all whatever, the chemicals, like, they don't really have any power over us or me personally. So that was just one of the things I wanted to mention, because I found it interesting, because I know that he's not the only one who genuinely has like disgusting ass nightmares like that. They're not dreams to me personally. Again, just there's like a particular weird ass bloodline here sometimes, and they literally just want everyone everywhere to have their DNA. So it's just like when people are quote unquote going crazy or they're imbalanced or whatever the fuck, it sometimes it's because they have foreign DNA in their DNA and they don't even know this. So it's just like, it's amazing. So again though, going back to old boy, I had mentioned to him that like, uh I believe literally all I said was lots of people are facing challenges right now or whatever, because that's the truth. And one, I was actually talking about myself when I said it. So it's crazy that his quote unquote response was, he doesn't care about the whole world and all this other shit. And I'm like, I didn't mention the world. And again, I didn't even respond with, well, really, I was just talking about me. And, we're always, and again, there are always people who are facing challenges. So, one, that's just something I say because, sometimes it really does assist me in feeling better, especially like even the whole entity thing. Like, we've seen a few videos of some people trying to quote unquote get, disagreeable energies out of their house or whatever. And the one that we had seen with the entities, like how they turned the cross upside down or whatever the fuck. One, oh God, just, oh, Satan's synagogue gets on my fucking nerves oh so much because I don't really give a fuck. Like, I don't reside there. And also, if you know what that actually means, then good for you. If you don't, figure it out on your own. However, like, the entities that I'm dealing with, it's difficult to explain, but quote unquote, like, I had seen like a projection thing, like, quote unquote, call it a cryptic message if you want to, from some cryptid fucking vampire or some shit. And quote unquote, it had said F Jesus. Now, I didn't get mad or freak out about this because I'm a real that the real name isn't even Jesus. So I didn't really get mad. Of course, though, it also gave me like confirmation. Well, clearly the concept of Christ clearly does drive these beings the fuck out of my home, and or it just drives them crazy in general. Either way, I didn't get upset about it. But I just found it interesting that for the guy who, whatever, was taking the video, that the cross on his wall had literally turned upside down because I had seen the words or whatever in a crazy way that, had said F Jesus. And I'm like, that's why I keep saying, I don't know who the fuck opened these portals up for us, but it's really, really annoying. And then that too, they open them the fuck up, and yet they're sending them to a whole bunch of people who haven't even done anything to them. So that's why I'm just like, I just am just, the shit that we are just temporarily dealing with and trying to get the hell out of our own life. I mean, it's crazy, and yet it's like I still do my best to be kind and or treat people how they treat me because that's how I want to be treated. So it's just like, uh, you know, uh, I really am over dealing with this stuff, and these particular entities, they really are gross and disgusting. And again, they literally want some of us to off ourselves or whatever because just the light that we shine is crazy, crazy bright. And I'm fine with this, but again, I'll go ahead and be honest with one of the dumbass things that the entities mentioned. And again, it's crazy. They're mentioning something that I seen in a dream, right? I seen it in a dream, and also it was someone else. Like, it was the quote unquote woman that we, just got done physically dealing with or whatever. And in the dream with that woman or whatever, like, she was in the mirror or whatever the fuck and had a flashlight or whatever. And so now these entities, that's what the all, for the most part, now all the fuck they want to keep repeating to me is something about being quote unquote trapped inside of a fucking mirror. And I'm like, none of that shit is possible to this day. And not only that, I tried to look that up because I am aware that some of the entities have some of the humans that the entities are like controlling or some shit. I don't know, but do weird ass shit with mirrors. And so it's a lot of stuff going on, but just I tried to look into that just to see like what the fuck are they talking about? What the fuck does this nonsensical ass illogical shit even mean? And so it's again the entities that I'm particularly dealing with. I don't even believe that they're telepathic. They're, again, I'm not quite sure how they're astrally projecting and or how they're attempting to mind meld. They're obviously not mind melding with me personally because I'm intelligent, and all of the things that I'm unfortunately ignoring them say. are some of the dumbest fucking sentences I've ever heard in my lifetime. Especially the thing about being trapped in the mirror, because apparently they seen this in a dream while I was dreaming. And not only that, I have to keep canceling this bullshit notion that that this is coming from two human beings that I don't know. Because one, why the fuck would you have access to every thought that I think, and even in my dream state too? I just don't buy that this is some HEX from some stupid ass humans, because it's unnecessary. And Whitney's telling her story. I'm not allowing any entities to tell me my stories. And also, it's because of the shit that is happening to my phone. Every freaking phone I get, weird ass shit happens to it, especially when my data is on, which has something to do with the you know what shot. Again, and it's just like, I'm not the one thinking of these things. Though we have come across the information about the shit that was in the you know what's. And so it's just like, one, it's crazy that you can't even really talk about this shit on YouTube, but yet they wanted everyone to have the quote unquote shot. But now nobody can say it. I'm so sick of that shit. And I really, again, it's not our platform, but we use it, we build it the fuck up, and they benefit off of it. So it's just like, if I want to say COVID shot, I should be allowed. Like, I'm sick of this shit. And all the people who keep going along with this, people taking your free speech from you, y'all need to cut that shit out. So again, that's all, again, the last thing that I would literally want to say is, are you awake or are you woke? Fucking pick one. Like, it's mind blowing. All the people who keep, like, they'll mention Dr. Sabi, or they'll mention some beautiful beautiful stuff, but then the next minute they need fucking drugs, and they need this and they need that. Again, I understand there's a human perspective and then there is our God perspective, and I do understand that. I really really do. But I'm not around this bitch playing like I'm woke. I am awake, which is why I can see some of these shadows. And sometimes it's like the other night I was walking and there was, a shadow. It was way the fuck over here. It's a shadow over here. And then there were there are weird ass like light thingies in the fucking sky or whatever. Which is how I know this shit is not coming from no human fucking beings. They can't do none of that shit. Even in their God power and their godness. That's not something anything human is capable of doing. So anyway, fam, we're just venting about a whole bunch of stuff. Oh my gosh, stay tuned. We're updating our products and whatnot, and getting our ish together, so that we can continue to support ourselves better and better each and every day. And I am always doing my best to remember that everything's working out for me. So we are sending that, just good vibes and good energy, and lots of just prosperity and thriving to all of our family members, especially our soul family. So just peace, fam, and thanks for watching.